Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we have a very special guest. We have Brandon and Lexi from AllAboard Gamer.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Lexi.
And I am Brandon, as they said.
Yeah, and we are
AllAboard Gamer.
And today we have a top 5 for you. And we are going to go through our top 5 games that make us laugh every time we play them.
Without fail.
Without fail.
Without fail. That is true.
Yeah.
That was our criteria as well.
All right. So why don't you start us off, honey?
All right. So our first game is actually 2 games in a series. They've won awards. They've won Dice Tower Awards. I forget who publishes it, but it won't matter. But this is a dexterity game where you set up a school, as it were, an icy school. And you are penguins, and you are flicking penguins around the school, trying to collect fish, and trying to take the ID badges from these students who are cutting class to get fish. And you have a hall monitor, and it is the funniest thing. Every time we play it, we've played this with adults, we play it with kids, and it is hilarious.
It's a riot, yeah. And the kids always do better than the adults, I have to say. When they're so good.
They do.
I don't understand, because I always end up hurting my finger.
Yeah.
When I'm flicking the penguins.
You flick too hard.
I do flick too hard.
Like Lexi, I've actually mastered
crazy.
the jump shot. I can actually jump over walls now, but every now and then Blake, our son, will literally flick one of the penguins, and it will just move through 4 rooms and just
I'm like, how'd you do that?
And he just smiles, and it's a really fun game. Both of the games are very similar. The goal is you add them together, and you can have more players. So really, you don't need both games, Ice Cool 1 or Ice Cool 2, but we have both because you can put them together, and then you have like this big epic. Chaotic. It's really fun. I
love walking around and just trying to maneuver and position yourself for the perfect shot, because I always think that's really funny to just see people. It's kind of like Twister when you're just trying to get
to get the perfect shot. It's an easy game to play. There's cards in it where you can take an extra turn, or it's random as far as the scoring. You know, you could hit a lot of players and get cards, but you might not get a ton of fish. But it's just a fun game. In fact, scoring for us has just become like a side note. It's just a fun dexterity game. It's a great icebreaker, pun intended. So
knee slapper.
Okay. So that's our number 5.
That is a good one.
It is. Our 4-year-old is like really strangely good at it. It's kind of scary. I don't like.
The less you try, the better you do.
Yes, that is true.
I'm going to keep
really
doing
what it is.
Worse and worse and worse and worse. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
All right. Our number 5 is kind of a dual number 5. And that is specifically Secret Hitler, but really any type of
like social deduction
games. There are some social
Resistance, Avalon,
exactly, that are more intriguing than laughing, but it's Secret Hitler that we always laugh at.
And I don't love the theme. Don't get me, out of context. But there's a certain reveal moment at the end where you thought you had it pegged of who was the bad guys and who was the good guys, and then you figure it out, and you're just like, "Are you kidding?" And then everyone erupts with laughter. And there's also the same moment with the Resistance Avalon where there is there's an assassin character, which that they can correctly figure out who a certain character on the other team was. They, and all along you've been lying to them and you've been feeding them this story. And then all of a sudden you reveal, and there's this big chaos eruption moment. And every time laughter, every time across the whole table. And we have a board gaming, camping weekend that we do every summer. And this one is the one that every single night, it seems like there's a group playing Secret Hitler or there's Avalon until like 2 or 3 in the morning, keeping us up and just by laughing.
Yeah, that's the only time I'm not laughing when this game is being played.
Is when you're trying to sleep.
I'm just like seething.
Yeah. We've never played Secret Hitler, but Eric at our game store, he always had it in stock and he raves about it. We just haven't pulled the trigger because we don't always play with a lot of people with these kinds of games. Yeah. But these secret role, hidden role games are really funny. Sheriff of Nottingham is actually one of those too, where you're sort of bluffing and all of that. Yeah. We never played the Avalon one either. So it's because of the, it's mostly us, but we'll have a surprise for you later, probably in the same kind of vein. So we'll just hold that one for later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So number 4.
Number four.
Number 4.
So this one, it actually took us a while to pick it up and actually purchase it, but we played it at Origins in 2018. And this one just makes me laugh seeing people try to come up with the answers or not be able to guess something that is just so blatantly obvious to us. So this is Just One. And I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of this game because it's one of those party games where I think it's essential now.
Yeah,
I think
it is
for your collection. If you're going to have people over, it's super easy to teach where you can explain the rules in just like a minute,
5 minutes, not even.
And everybody gets a turn to pick out the clue
to pick the word.
And it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Getting frustrated with people by not picking the most common answer or picking the most common answer.
What's comical for me, I got to be honest, when we're playing this, and I'm the person who's going to be eventually looking at all the clues and picking, like trying to come up with the one answer, the just one answer. When I have my eyes closed and and then they all say, okay, turn them around and look. And then you hear all the, no, they you pick the same. Like, I enjoy listening with my eyes closed at all the chaos erupting around me. That's the part I find very funny.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Every time we play this game, we actually pull this one out a lot of times as an icebreaker. Because there is scoring, but it's just like,
we never score with this game.
If you get 13 in a row, then your team wins. But to me, there's this is a game to just have fun and just play around and get people ready to play games, for us.
And it's also fun when you have little kids that don't really understand what's going on and you tell them what to write and everything. And they're just so confused.
Yeah.
They don't know what's happening.
It's so funny. Yeah.
It's cute though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
so Just One is, and I think is that REPOS production? I think it is. So. So they've had some good ones. I think they had Concept. They've come out with some really good ones, REPOS. So really like some of the party games they have coming out. So Just One is our number 4.
Yeah. I actually don't like this game, but anyway.
I like it a lot.
He likes it. I'm like, there's 5 games out in the world that for some reason I don't like that the rest of the gaming community does. I don't know what my problem is.
Well,
but
there's a Blank Slate is a very similar game, and you do like that one.
I do like that one.
Yeah. It's a similar game, only it's competitive instead of cooperative, basically.
Right.
But that's just
Blank Slate. We've heard of that one. Yeah. I've heard. And there's other games like this where you're trying to scribble something and make a clue. There's one where you're drawing part of a picture and then you hand it to someone else and they're trying to draw part. There's
illustration.
I think those are fun games. Those are just fun and they're always hilarious.
Yeah,
they're always funny.
So our number 4 is Wavelength.
Wavelength.
We just played this for the first time 2 weeks ago.
It is incredibly thought-provoking, but at the same time hilarious. Basically, if you've never heard of it, it is you're given a spectrum. A spectrum from one category to another, and a lot of them are opposites, right? So from hot to cold, but some of them are much more interesting and more intriguing. There was one that we played that was commerce to art, which is a super intriguing spectrum, right?
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was.
We didn't even play like that.
Wow. Yeah.
But what you're doing is you are given a random, where you're at on that spectrum, and you have to give a clue that matches to where that is in the spectrum. So if you're 3/4 of the way over towards art versus commerce, or 3/4 of the way over towards cold versus hot, you have to come with a clue that matches that, and then you're everyone else at the table has to figure out, where you were trying to guess. And this is very interesting psychological thing of trying to say, is that what Ryan thinks? Is that what Ryan thinks that we think? Is that what Ryan thinks society thinks? What is it was just so much fun. And then, of course, that reveal moment again, where you reveal and show how off you were and just how much you didn't understand what the clue
and
was.
The unintentional discussion that follows whenever people get it right or wrong or just
no matter what.
You just go into how in the world could you think that? obviously
Yeah.
this is what that means. What's wrong with you? And just like,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
The unintentional but inevitable discussion. Yes.
Yes.
Actually, we played this for the first time in a big group. It is very thought provoking. Like even Lexi was like, "This is thinky."
Well, and we didn't know anybody either, so I think it
depends on the group.
On the group.
There wasn't a lot of laughter in our group, to be honest. There was a lot of thinkers in this group, which is fine, and it was still fun. But I have to say, I was the only one that gave a clue that landed it right on the blue.
Hey, yeah.
So he's a good clue giver.
I was surprised because I think that's luck, a lot of it, because I mean, come on, but it worked out where they landed. My team landed it right on the blue with the clue. But you're right, the reveal, it's all just like
we've only played with people we know, so that definitely would change that. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
But it was an intriguing game. I think you're right. It's very thought provoking, and that can be funny.
It can
when thoughts go crazy. And everybody's off when they're not on the same wavelength.
Play this with our family. I think it would be
some
crazy.
families. I think it could turn into a brawl, so you got to be careful. I think.
Yeah, you almost have to be a little bit selective around who you're playing it with, which cards you use. I could see some contention happening, but
Anyway, that's awesome. That's a good pick.
That is a good pick. So we're on number 3, right?
Yeah.
So we just picked up this game at Gen Con from Czech Games Edition. They just released, I guess this would be considered the second edition of it. This game has had a lot of, there's a lot of people that really love it and people that seem like they really hate it. And we hadn't played the first edition of it, so we weren't sure if we were going to like it. For example, Sam Healy doesn't like this game, but Tom Vassell really does. And so it's hard to make a decision when there's such a dichotomous opinion, but this is Galaxy Trucker. We played Galaxy Trucker with Blake, and we've only played it once or twice, but it is hilarious.
It is.
The chaos of, now again, we've never played the first edition, so we don't know what to compare it to. I don't know what's really changed between the two editions specifically, but the first phase of the game, you're building your ship, but you don't take turns. You're doing it in real time with a big pile of tiles. I mean, it's just chaos. And you can only pick up a tile and look at it in front of you. So there's rules on, like, you can't just pick them up like in the pile and look at them and put them down. You can only do it with one hand, and you're looking at it. If you want it, then you put it on your ship based on the placement rules, or you put it face up in the pool for everybody else to take. And you never know what you're doing. The rule book is so funny. Czech Games Edition, their rule books, I don't typically like too much goofy humor in rule books if it doesn't get the point across. But Czech Games Edition, at least the couple games that we have, the rule books are very, very funny. They're humorous. Like, they tell you that every single tile in the game is good and you need to get as many as you can. But the whole point of the game is you can't get every tile, remember?
Yeah.
But then the second phase of the game, all this nonsense happens that completely tears your ship apart. And it was just comical to me.
Oh yeah. And especially like the first time we played it, and little Blake, he's like building a ship and it's so awesome and everything. And then he's like, well, I don't have anybody left. And this whole like half of his ship just goes out
in one shot. Like,
and we're like, no, it's okay, buddy, because look, my ship is completely falling apart too. And so like, then we just all end up laughing. So it's a riot.
And what was much more bizarre is I pulled into the port with a limping ship blown apart. I thought for sure I was going to lose. I scored 1 credit, like literally 1 point. But they all had like negative 100 and some points. And I won with 1 point. And I'm like, wait, what? So from start to finish, from reading the rules to playing the game to the first phase where you're pulling those tiles in real time and all the chaos and the timer, and then the whole thing getting blown apart and not knowing who's going to win when you pull into the port. It is just funny from start to finish. We've had a fun time with it. So Galaxy Trucker is a number 3.
Awesome.
I've only played this one once. I enjoyed it because I knew that I would. I like tiling and I like chaos, so I knew that I would enjoy both of these things together, and I did. It was fun.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and the reprint is actually really good. There's a lot in the box, and it was like $30. So it's an inexpensive game to get into, and so if you can't find the first edition, don't fret. The second edition's out. You can find it pretty readily now. So yeah, it's a lot more accessible, I think, than it was. So, yeah.
talk about small footprint or small cost. Our number 3 is actually a deep sea adventure.
This is a push your luck game from OINK Games where you are. The whole concept is just hilarious to me to begin with. You are these really poor deep sea divers who want to dig for treasure, but you're so poor that you can't afford to have your own ship. So you have to pool together with your competitors. All of you are renting this one ship, and you have one tank of oxygen that you're working with as you're digging down, trying to get these treasures down to the bottom of the ocean. And so the more treasures you get, the slower you're moving because you're carrying these treasures, and also the more oxygen you use up. And so I don't think we've ever played this without just laughing our butts off, because everyone just runs down. They try to get the best treasures way down there, but then by the time they get way back up, the oxygen's run out.
Or it's people just try to go like short, but then since we went all the way down here, we've wasted all the oxygen, so they can't even get back up.
Half the rounds we play, like no one gets any points.
Yeah,
right.
Because we're all
everybody's dying.
Yeah, we're all too greedy.
Yeah, and we just laugh all the time we're playing this game. It's just so ridiculous, and it's short enough to where like you can do that, and it's okay. Like it's not like people have been trying for something for a half hour, 45 minutes, and then you totally. Mess them up. It's only like 10 minutes. So it's okay if I mess up your plans and we all die. It's fine.
Right.
It's okay.
We'll just try again.
This is another one that seems like people that like it really like it, but people that don't like it really don't like it. Yeah. But that's that kind of style of game. But if it's quick, I don't mind it. I would love to try it. I know it's that nice blue, that like simple blue cover. Yeah. Looks simple, but I've never played it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have.
I'm a bad board gamer.
No, you're not.
There's way too many games. There's way too many games.
No.
Yeah. But
no, don't ever feel bad.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like push your luck games generally, but that one was just so silly that it makes me laugh every time.
Push your luck games have to be short. And they just have to, because if you have push your luck games that are long, then you just feel like you're cheated the whole time.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Well, that's a great segue into our number 2. Because it is a big push your luck game.
That is their number 2.
But it is super fun. So go ahead. You want to talk about this one?
No, you can't.
I can't. All right.
I think you love this game way more than I thought you ever would.
This game. And a lot of people do. It's popular. It's North Star, at least I think, but it's Schmidt-Spiel, I think, overseas. But this is QUACKS of QUEDLINBURG.
Yeah.
QUACKS of QUEDLINBURG. Like the first time we played it with Blake, we caught him cheating. And he felt so bad. And ever since then, he was so stressed out with drawing cherry bombs. And he was young. This was like a couple years ago when the game first came out. And we had the base game. And he was just like peeking, and he's just a little guy at that, 9 years old or so at that point. So I was like, it's fine. But I said, no, the idea is you can't look, like you got to just pull in, put your hand in there, wiggle it around and pull something out. And it's just been fun. We've played it 5-player. We've played it with my daughter, my family, and they all love it. When you explode, it's hilarious.
It is funny.
The game doesn't take too long. It's certainly not deep sea adventure short, but it's not like a laborious thing. I love the rat tail mechanic, where really nice. If you're so far behind, you can move your water drop in your pot like further around with rat tails to try to stay in the game. And it does work. It seems balanced. We've gotten a couple of the expansions. Now that does add a little bit of bloat to it, but the core mechanism of that push your luck, that this game has always been funny every time we've played it. It's always been hilarious. In fact, how good are you at this game?
I stink at this game. And it's not that I don't like this game. I just don't love it as much as you. I stink at push your luck. I never know when to stop. And even when I do well at this game, or at least I think I do well, I still come in last.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So to be fair, this was more my number 2 than Lexi's, but
are you just laughing at me?
It is. She is the one that makes this game funny. So honestly, every time she plays, if she doesn't play, if she sits out, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to play without her because she cracks me up.
I'm just always exploding.
But the stress, and then what's really fun is when you get a lot of people, at the last round, what they tell you in the rule book is everybody pulls separately. So everyone is staring at the person that is pulling their chips. and you can get people and just to see the social aspect of that. Like, can you bully somebody into drawing one more chip, you know, and then they blow up or something. And then they're like, see, I shouldn't have listened to you. It gets really fun. The table gets really loud. And it's just a great game.
He's also nicknamed Bully Penguin and Ice Cool when we play that. So you're just a bully.
I am a bully penguin, and it's because of my jump shot. When people experience my jump shot in Ice Cool, and sometimes it goes awry, sometimes my penguin gets stuck on the wall. But Blake says that I bully, and also my friend Frank, who is older than me, says that I'm a bully when I play this against him. So I have become the bully penguin. Yes, but I'm also the bully quack. And quacks of Quedlinburg.
Rooting everybody to blow up their pots.
We're like people whisper to each other and they're like, come on, just pull another one. You know, it's just funny. It's funny. It's great. It's a push your luck. And it just hits me. It hits me on all the buttons. It's just good.
Yeah, it's a little bit of engine building, which I don't think there's a whole lot of other push your luck games that have that engine building and customization to them that I really, really dig.
This was a huge hit at our gaming weekend that we had.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to play it, so I still haven't played it yet, but a lot of people played it at a gaming weekend, and like it's exactly what you said. They were all having a good time, and you're like, what's happening at that table over there?
I call next.
It was a big hit.
Yeah. So a gaming weekend, we'll have to talk about that one off air.
Oh yeah,
it is.
I was probably not too far away if Illinois and Indiana are drivable.
Yeah.
I'm not inviting us. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're invited. Don't worry. You're invited. You just have to get here.
That would be amazing.
Bags, so we're coming.
We do. That sounds good. But yeah, you got to play Quacks, Bethany. It's really, really funny. So, yeah, that's our number 2.
You actually mentioned our number 2.
You did earlier. Yeah. So our number 2, this is one that I joke about all the time about how it's not a game, it's a activity. But anyway, our number 2 is Concept.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So Concept is this hilarious situation where you have a clue and you're trying to convey it to other people, but you can't use words. You're only using these pre-set up clues that are given there. And you have to, what's the core concept? Is it a person you're trying to get them to guess? Is it a movie you're trying to get them to guess? Is it a quote you're trying to get people to guess? And there's various levels of difficulties on the cards.
Yeah.
And it's so easy.
I still remember Men in Black.
The clue was Men in Black.
Yeah.
And we got them so close. They were saying dudes inside of black.
Yeah.
Dudes inside of black.
Oh my.
And they just couldn't get over the hump to get to Men in Black.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And it just every single time there's some little clue like that. There was there's a bridge of what is it called? The bridge of size.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Our friend got us to guess the bridge of sad wind.
Yeah.
We could never get to the bridge of sighs.
Oh, wow.
And it was just,
some of them are tough. Some of
them
are
really, but you have to go for the hard ones because the easy ones are just like, fictional human that can fly. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But if you use the hard ones, and this is really weird quotes from like, I don't know, Eleanor Roosevelt or something. It's just so much fun.
I've tried the really hard ones.
Yeah, not the real. Yeah, like we did Iron Man. I remember was one that people got hung up on because if people don't know those cultural things, then you're not going to have it. So. But yeah, we've played this with couples. I know the last time we played this, there were 4 couples, I think. And it was hilarious.
So it was hilarious, but like you have to be on the same wavelength as your significant other, or else like, oh my gosh, like the one couple, I just felt so bad. They were just on the struggle bus and they could not get past. Like, I don't think they did well at all. I forget. No. I felt bad
because they were just on different poles of where they were gonna go with the clue. And I'm like, why don't you guys just like go have a huddle? Figure it out, pick one direction and then just go with it. And I think after that they kind of like, oh, okay, you're
so right. It's like dudes in something that's black. Why can you not get this?
You
can't say anything. Like I totally agree with you. This is funny.
And when they're like, we're this close, you don't want to give any more clues because you'll just like mess them up. But you also like they don't have it yet, so you're just kind of staring at the board, and they're staring at the board, and you're staring at the board, and nothing's happening.
And like you mentioned with Just One, the scoring just flat out does not matter.
No.
You know, it gives you some score tokens or whatever. Yeah. I don't think we've ever gotten them out really, other than
the activity.
Yeah, you just want to just play it until everybody's laughed enough, and then we go to the next thing.
Yeah, I still remember when Lisa did it. She tried to create a story. She wasn't giving us like a clue. She was trying to tell us the whole plot of a movie.
That's cool.
To get us
instead of getting us to say the name of the movie.
Yeah, and we're like, they're on an airplane. They're breaking up. What's happening? That was really good. But this is what happens when that was happening. We're just like cracking up the whole time trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
So before we do our one, let's do some honorable mentions.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You guys go first.
All right. You taught this one. You taught this game.
One in Origins, and I had no idea that I was even teaching a game. So it was kind of fun to learn this game. It's a push your luck game, and it's Steve Miller.
It's Weird Giraffe Games.
Yep. Publisher, but
and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, Bethany, because it is
Fire in the Library.
Yeah,
Fire in the Library.
I know.
Let them say it first. Cheater pants.
Ryan doesn't like this game as much as I do.
I loved teaching this game because we had so much fun. Because we would be chanting like, burn the books, you know, like it was so funny. Our table was just a riot.
I was teaching games.
Like,
I was teaching games right next to her. I was teaching
2-hour-long block or something, and he's
Stellar
looking
Leap.
over at me, and we're all like, good.
Everybody's looking at their table in the hall. It was that fun. Every single session she had it, they were like, people were just going nuts. It was awesome.
Super fun. Yeah, I really like it. And again, it's that push your luck, and you're egging each other on, and you kind of like, I got into the whole thing like, okay, so now you're grabbing one book, but you can't carry all of them, so you're like talking through it with everybody, and you just really get into. And I
like the way you do the turn order too in that one, because
cool.
it's not symmetrical. It's not like, well, you go clockwise. It's like, no, whoever's behind gets first choice. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go last? Because there's different configurations of those boards. Like it's really neat. You have special equipment and cards. It's a great game.
Yeah,
it really is. And it's a riot. So yeah.
And the rule book is really funny too.
The card art, like how when you flip the cards over, how the fire like grows and grows and grows. I just think that is so cool how that happens.
Yeah, the way the library, because the library is going to burn down because it's happened in Alexandria, which is historical. And it's the round counter, like it's the game counter, like it has to burn down. But just how fast and everything else is up to the players. It's fun.
Yeah, we love that one.
So that's our first one. Can we do one more? Is that okay?
Go for it.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more. And I think this one here, we'll mention Team 3. Team 3 is a game. There's a green version and a pink version. We played this in prototype form at Origins as well in 2019 in the hotel cafe. Like after the day's festivities were over, we saw people playing it, and it was a riot. They were the loudest people in the restaurant. And they came over and they were like, hey, do you guys want to play this? And it's called Team 3. So there's a team of 3. It's cooperative. And it's based on the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys. You have the box is very simple. It comes with these colored shapes of plastic blocks. So one will be a T, one will be an L, one will be like a zigzaggy M, and all of that. One player cannot look. They're the builder. They are blindfolded or just eyes closed, and they're going to be building a shape that is communicated to them by the monkey who has the speaking ability. The only thing they're allowed to do is say if the builder is right or wrong. Okay. And the person who cannot talk but can look is the person who is looking at the card that has the pattern that the one who is blind has to build. So the person who can't speak has to communicate silently where things have to go with these blocks to the person who can speak, and the person who can speak has to communicate that to the blind builder. This game is hilarious. It is funny. It's timed. It's chaos, and it is really, really good. Blake didn't want to stop playing it. He loved it. It was
always a good sign.
And it was a hit at that show with all adults. It was hilarious and it was fun. And I think when you when you get the green and the pink version,
you
can put them together and have 2 teams of 3 being competitive with each other. So that's the reason for the 2. So it's like a hot pink and a hot green. But yeah, team 3, you love this game.
I love this game. Yeah.
We bought it because of her. This was her. She loves it.
Yeah, because we can't play it when it's just the 2 of us at the house. I mean, Jasmine, but she doesn't have any thumbs.
She doesn't. Yeah, the opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
She can't do it.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So that's our second honorable mention. Yeah.
That sounds really fun, actually.
Yeah.
I want that now.
We just have the one, and it's only because there's a huge caveat on. It's hilarious when we play it, but we could definitely see how this might not be
more frustrating, maybe
more frustrating than hilarious. Like the very first time we played this game, we actually really mad.
We were mad at each other. Yeah, we're like, what? Why did you do that? What were you thinking?
Yeah, but
I do marriage counseling, just so you know.
But after we moved past that, like, and we got over the fact that you just know this game is like quirky, then you just know that that's what's going to happen. And so our honorable mention is Quirky Circuits.
Yeah, this is you are basically doing a programming game, but it's blind. The other person doesn't know what cards you are playing exactly.
Yeah.
But you both have to participate. Or it plays more than 2, obviously, but we play 2 primarily.
I would not recommend it higher than 2.
It'd be even more chaotic with more, but at 2 it works pretty well. But still, you don't know exactly what they played in this blind programming game. So then you reveal what you've laid out there, and then this robot does whatever you told it to do, but maybe it wasn't exactly what you thought.
Exactly.
And then this vacuum cleaner, Roomba type things is like running into a wall over and over again or whatever. Super hilarious stuff. And especially when we play 2-player, we really like constantly.
we went for our 10-year last year. We went on a little weekend getaway, and we brought this with us, so we just like played it the whole time because it was hilarious for us. But it might there's a huge caveat on it because I could just see some people, instead of laughter, you could raise your voice and yelling instead of the joy that would follow that. And so that's why we didn't want to put it on the list. It's because we know that that's another way that people can play.
We haven't, I've heard of it.
Right.
I have heard of it, but have not played it.
No, we haven't. And I feel
we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, I feel like we might be sometimes in a bad mood.
Absolutely.
Like you have to be in the right mind state
for certain games. Well, I think that's just general for games in general. Yeah. It's amazing how this hobby, and video games are the same way, but how this hobby can be triggering if you're not careful, because we have competitive spirits, right? Every human does. Even people that say they're not competitive. No, you are. But some people can, it depends. They can focus it, right. And all of that. But
wait till I burn your village and see how not competitive you are.
And that's why with take that games, I don't like them. And it's not because I'm a poor loser. I'm not a poor winner either, but there's times where I just feel like the game is playing me.
Yes.
And games like that, I have a rough time. And then layer on top of that, some kind of take that where the players are just sort of rubbing salt in the wound. It's easy to take it personally. So I get it. But I think games can trigger anyone at any time, really, depending on the mood they're in. Yeah. So Quirky Circuits we'll have to look out for. Yeah. We have Gizmos, which is
that's a good one too.
That's a really good game. Yeah, that's a fun one, but it's not funny.
No.
But it's super
it isn't funny at all. It's just not funny. No. Cool. Well, that's cool. Quirky Circuits. So could be funny, but also could cause marriage counseling issues.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Got
either one.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So we're going to do our number one. Well, I told you, we told them that we would go back to what you mentioned as a category of social deduction games. We agree. We haven't played a lot of social deduction games because we were scarred. We were scarred by Werewolf. We are very picky. We
don't like Werewolf.
Hate Werewolf. Okay.
I think it was the first time that we learned
I don't get it.
It was a bad teacher.
Maybe.
And it turned us off. But even watching games now, it has scarred us. That bad teacher kind of ruined the game where I don't even want to play it.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it.
But the game that's on our list, I will play this all day long with a group that the more the merrier. It plays up to 12. I would never play it at the minimum count of 4 ever. The more the better, up to 12.
And
it is, tell them.
It is Deception Murder in Hong Kong.
I said that. I put it on the short list, and you said
he
no.
did put it on the short list.
Said that.
And I
This-
put it on there. No.
We have played
Sounds
this
like
game.
It wouldn't be funny.
It sounds like it wouldn't be funny because the
the
subject
murdering.
matter is kind of macabre, you know.
Right.
It's Clue, but Clue as I see it evolving from what Clue is. And Clue's a good game. Clue is fine, but like this to me is Clue on steroids. It's amplified.
Yeah.
And we've just played the base game of it right now. Now we have the expansion. I can't wait to play the expansion because people were like asking about it with the extra roles and stuff. But the base game, one person's the forensic scientist. Everybody else is an investigator except for the one murderer. And at the beginning of the game, everybody closes their eyes. The murderer opens their eyes. The forensic scientist knows who the murderer is. And they have to show them either like you have 2 rows of 4 cards. You have your murder weapon, the means, and then you have the evidence or the clue. I forget what that top row is called. And you have to pick one of those. So the murderer has, and the forensic scientist knows. Then the whole game turns on and the forensic scientist cannot speak. They communicate silent clues using these cardboard tiles that come out randomly, by the way. That I think for the forensic scientist, it's hilarious because of where you see your group going down the path. You know who the murderer is. You know they're trying to deflect. You're trying to get them, your investigators to guess who the murderer is. And how about it? When we played it with the Buchanans, and then we played it with our family. People did not want to put it down. No. We played it 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Not kidding.
Every time that we played this, it's always been multiples, like at least 3.
Have you ever been the murderer?
No, your mom.
She would stink at it.
I would. I'm not a very good liar.
She has no poker face. She would be like, "It's me."
No, I would.
She wouldn't. I don't want to lie. It's me. But no, I'm just teasing.
But your mom was the murderer like 3 times the one time we played it, and that's just
funny. My mom is 75 years old.
75-year-old is the murderer.
She is the sweetest lady. She is a very giving person. She's the servant. She's just very like quiet. That, very quiet. Yeah. And she was the murderer like twice in a row, and no one guessed it. It was hilarious. Like, mother, that. Yeah. So I'm telling you, this has lit our game room up. It has ruined our plans for any other game that was in the stack.
I know, right?
We were like, we'll start off with deception, murder in Hong Kong, and then we'll move on to this stuff. Nope, never got to it. And it's become that game where if we could bring one game to a party, this would be the one.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
That is such a good game.
Yeah.
But I played a game, I don't know, it was a couple years ago where I was the murderer and one of my good friends pegged me with the exact right away.
Yeah.
And then I slowly was like steering the way. You make some good points, but also have you looked over there?
And it worked.
Yeah. The whole rest of the game, he had forgotten that he had completely pegged me. And
oh my god!
And the forensic scientist, by the way, sitting there going in their minds, no, yep. Yeah. And they can't you can't give it away. You can't shake your head. Like the forensic scientist has to be solid. They can't give it away. But that's so funny. It's funny for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's our number 1. Easy.
So our number 1 is all about the whole experience of what it was from beginning to end. It was just a wonderful time. It's probably one of my all-time, like if I did a top 10 favorite gaming moments, experiences, this would definitely be in it. And this is Clank Legacy.
Wow.
We had so much fun with this game. We played with the same people, the same core set, so we were able to get it done in 3 months or something.
Yeah, something about right.
We met together. And it's just hilarious. So you're reading all these things in the book and we're reading them in all these funny voices of what's going on. And I love storytelling games that don't put any effort on you, right?
Yeah.
They do everything for you and you're along for the ride, and this does it. But what happens in the game is there's things that happen on the board or things that happen on cards. You have to name them funny things and then they get shuffled back in and then they come back up and you remember what happened when that happened, and it's always hilarious. And then how you score things at the end and who ends up quote unquote winning is just really hilarious, right?
Yeah.
So the whole journey of this entire game was just great. It was wonderful. Yeah. I had such a great time with this game. You had such a great time with this game.
Oh yeah.
We laughed hardcore belly laughs every single time we'd complete more missions, and as the board is expanding and different things are happening, and it like the story kept cycling around back to itself. Like there was a card that somebody found, and then they had to return it to somebody, but then they lost something, but then they were able to steal that sword again and then bring it back. And it's pure chance. Like anybody could have done it, but it was just this one person who kept on interacting with this one card over and over again. It was great.
Yeah. I think that the strength is it is a strategy game, right? You know, Clank is a strategy game and it's all based off of Clank. In fact, it's as extra mechanisms on top of Clank as a legacy game, you know, does. It kind of filters you in more and more mechanisms, but the storytelling, which was interrupted the gameplay every once in a while. So you had this really serious strategic gameplay interrupted by this really hilarious narrative that was happening all throughout. And it had this really funny, kind of like a choose your own adventure type of thing going on. You discover an artifact of some kind, and it would say, do you want to keep it? Do you want to throw it away? What do you want to do with this artifact? And no matter what you chose, it was always the wrong choice. It was like, oh, well, now you're, you know, whatever. It's the narrative was, you know, it kind of said fed to you. You didn't have to come up with it yourself. And it was so funny.
Well, it's based on Acquisitions Incorporated, which a lot of folks, I don't know if you're aware of it. I don't think you are. Acquisitions Incorporated was a D&D group that was filmed, and it was all funny. Like it was a comedy thing. And it was very popular. It still is. You can still go and find it and watch it. So is the narrative based, I'm assuming, based on that kind of comedic storytelling from that D&D group, like that storyline?
You are the Acquisitions Incorporated company, and you're all different, like, I guess, I don't know, agents for them. So it's still, you all have the same purpose. And that's why you're trying to go out there and get this stuff. But you're all trying to also be the one that impresses the head office the most.
And I always thought that Acquisitions Incorporated was a funny name for a D&D group because, you know, you're murder hobos, right? You go out there and you're just killing everything to get stuff. Acquisitions Incorporated. That's really clever. I just thought that was funny, and they are funny. But it's you have to be into that D&D nerd culture to really appreciate the humor too. You know, you have to understand what goes on in a D&D group. But I figured that, you know, again, we don't have a group to play that with. It'd be nice to play. We do have Clank.
Yeah, I love Clank. I think Clank too, in and of itself, just trying to get back out is funny.
It is.
There, if you don't make it out, like I don't know,
everything collapses on you. It's a funny game.
That sounds really great. I wish we had a bigger group to do that with.
She wants to play. We haven't played Pandemic Legacy as far as Legacy. I don't want to get off on a tangent, but like the only one we've played so far is Charterstone. And we really liked it because you can play it a 2-player. But a lot of these I think it would have been better with more. And so we don't want to try another Legacy game until we have a group that can like you had work through it for a couple of months, you know, and we don't have that yet. So sadly, we just haven't really experienced some of these really good Legacy games. And it's, you know, just the way it is.
Commitment. It's a lot to ask people.
It is.
People to do that.
Yeah, it is.
And they're not cheap either because they are, you know, a ton of different stuff in that box. So
that's true. Yeah.
You have the money and the people and the time. The time is the real killer.
Right. There's 3 Pandemic Legacies now, and they're all $70-$80 a piece, you know, and then Acquisitions Incorporated's an expensive one too.
Yes, it was. It was.
Well, if it was worth it, then that's okay, right? You had a lot of laughs, big experiences.
Gosh. Totally worth it.
Heck yeah.
It was great.
Well, you guys,
that's really good.
Hopefully you had some great ideas that you guys have seen. We've got 10 games plus some honorable mentions that we went through, all hilarious games. If you have any hilarious games that you like, games that make you laugh, make sure to put them in the comments below. Be sure to hit up our friends, AllAboard Gamers, as well. Where can they find you? We're on the social media and all that stuff. Tell us where everybody can find you.
We're on Instagram, AllAboard Gamer, and Facebook, and we're also on YouTube.
AllAboard Gamer all the way. No Twitter. So not on Twitter. Board Game Geek, we're also there too. We sometimes forget. So if you do know that site, we are AllAboard Gamer on there too. So you can feel free to find us there. You can message us there if you want to. We do post reviews and things that we do on there. And so Board Game Geek is also a nice place to find us as well.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find Ryan and I under Facebook, Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan Bethany 1, and on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
All right. Bye everybody.
Guys.
See ya.
Bye.